Welcome back to another video, guys. I'm Taddy and you're watching Taddy Digest. This is an episode of HVAC tips for technicians, and today we've got a commercial package gas unit. And what I'm doing is I'm just telling you what's wrong with this package gas unit, what I've done so far, what I'm going to do, and how I'm going to do it so that I can better assist you in your career as an HVAC technician, because I want you to do better out in the field. I want you to be faster, quicker, and I want you to be successful. So let's get started with today's episode by showing you all of the different sections, and then we'll go in depth. So this right here is the electrical component section, and you've got a bunch of contactors here, and these contactors are for the compressors, because you got two circuits on this system, and you've got your incoming power. It's three-phase, 208, 230. Make sure you know what you're dealing with, whether it's 208, 230 or 460 volt. You got your simplicity control, and you've got your little joystick, your enter and cancel button. And then you've got your relays, your capacitors for your outdoor fan motors. There's two outdoor fan motors on this system. One of them has bad bearings, and I'm going to show you how to check the bad bearings today. But first, I want you to look at all this black powder, all this black dust. The reason you have this is because your fan belt needs to be tightened. It's loose, it's jumping around. How do I know that? Go in here and take your hand and see that? Pull this. It's really loose, so we need to tighten that up. How are we going to tighten that up? We're going to use sockets, and we're going to adjust these two screws right here, and that's going to basically pull this back. Okay, but first you have to loosen this, okay, screw here, and then you have to loosen this one here. Okay, if you don't loosen those two screws, then when you go to adjust this and this to pull this little mount out that the motor sits on, then it's not going to increase or decrease the tension, because it's not going to be able to move. Okay, now there's a couple things wrong with this unit besides the belt needs to be tightened. This coil here, condenser coil, was super dirty, so I got a water hose, I got a nozzle, spray nozzle, and I cleaned off the coil. Also, the way that I like to clean the coils is I like to take the little fan guards off here, and I like to be able to reach down in here. Now make sure you turn the power off, the disconnect, and do a lockout tag out so that you don't get your hand chopped off. You don't want that. All right, so I get my water hose in here and I'm able to clean off that coil really nicely. So I definitely like taking these off, and while they're off, I've got a motor here. I'm going to talk to you about how I'm going to change that motor. This right here is the little hub fan blade. I've got a little WD-40, a little PB blaster. What I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen these little set screws here. I'm going to also loosen the belly band of the motor. You see this belly band right here? I'm going to need something to put on this side, a socket, and then on this side I'll probably put an adjustable wrench, adjustable pliers, making sure I can hold that while I loosen up the nut on that bolt there. And I'm going to be able to loosen the belly band, and then I'm going to take my crescent wrench, of course, adjust these, take them out if you have to, and then put some of this on there. Now if the shaft was longer, I'd do some sandpaper, but I don't have to. But I might want to get my crescent wrench and put it on that nub right there so that I can hold this blade and turn it back and forth so I can loosen it up so it'll actually come off of the shaft of the motor. This is my new motor. You want to know how I know it was bad? I could hear it when it started up, and when it started up it made a little bit of a racket. That right there is the plug. This is the ground wire. I'm going to show you the difference between a bad motor and a good motor. Okay, this right here is a good motor. How do I know that? Because I can push it back and forth right here and there's no slack. Okay, so the bearings are good. This one right here, now up and down, you don't need to do that, just side to side. Okay, if it's got slack, then the bearings are possibly bad. So you want to make sure that you check the bearings on the motor, and that's what's wrong with this package. Little bonus here, I'm just going to show you something I do to make it easier on me getting this blade off this shaft. Sometimes you might have to use a bearing puller, but in most cases if you do this, you'll never have to use a bearing puller unless it's super old. So you take those set screws out, spray some of that PB blaster inside there, and then on top of the shaft. And then you get your little crescent wrench here, your adjustable wrench, and you put it on the flat side. You know, I don't really got a lot of room, so I'm gonna have to hold it like this instead of like this, but that's okay. And what you do is you grab your blade, and then you're, oh, look at that, see that? Just by turning it a little bit, I'm able to get it to loosen up, and then sometimes it'll just slip right off, okay? So I'm gonna show you that here in just a second. Okay, let me line it up. All right, got it lined up now, got it loosened up. Oh, stuck a little bit. That's okay. I'm gonna go underneath, trying to see if I can get maybe some of that flat side underneath. And oh yeah, I got some. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna hold it right there at the blade and just turn it back and forth, okay? And as you turn it back and forth, this should come off. This is the best way. Never use torches. Some people that'll use torches, you don't need torches to get it off, okay? Now that my blade is off, I can get to my belly band a little bit easier. Oh yeah. See there? Look at that, that's easy. I believe in you. Oh, got a little wire tie right there. All right, don't forget to take off your ground screw right there, 5/16. All right. You may need a bearing puller, just depends on how old it is, how rusted. Work smarter, not harder. That means having the right tools, having the right bits. Look at this socket, and I've got a little attachment for my drill, so I can easily use my drill to loosen the belly band. It just makes sense, especially if you can fit your drill in here. It's easier, so definitely get the right tools. Unit. Now, normally what you find wrong on commercial rooftop or commercial ground package units is fan belts, dirty coils, bad fan motors, bad electrical components. You could have bad contactors. The most obvious problems are maintenance, and that's why you need to make sure you check your filters. This right here is your filter section. Open that up. Looks like we got two 16 by 24 by 2s, and they're perfectly clean, and that's nice. Nice to see some good maintenance on a unit. This right here is your pressure switches. This one's for your discharge. This is your high side pressure switch, low side pressure switch. Those are 24 volts. And then you can see, oh, I've got some 24 volt resettable fuses here. So you need to check those when you go to a new job. Up, see right there? See right there, there's a resettable fuse. And then this right here is a couple fuses. And then that's another resettable. These are things you need to check when you go to work on equipment like this. You need to check incoming power. You start with the basics, okay? You make sure you check incoming power. You make sure you look at the simplicity control. A simplicity control can have some type of error code that it displays, and that can lead you to your problem right off the bat. You got to make sure you have gauges. You know how to check a charge. If you don't, check out my playlist, HVAC Tips for Technicians. I've got a video on there to help you check charge. Then you've got your meter, which checks Fahrenheit, and then you got your temperature probe. So you got two circuits. Circuit one's going to come on first right there, and that's the Y1 call. When you get a signal from the thermostat, that means R and Y have 24 volts. Then you're going to have 24 volts to common and yellow, which is your first cooling call. You're going to check 24 volts there. Compressor's going to come on. You're going to hook up your gauges, low side to the vapor line, high side to the discharge line. Then you're going to be able to check pressures. On 410A, pressures should be on a 95-degree day. Depends on outdoor ambient, indoor ambient, but usually around 120, 325, something like that. Just depends on the conditions. So need to make sure you check your fan belt, need to make sure you check your filters, need to make sure you check your coil and know how to clean your coil. You can see this coil has been cleaned recently. You can see those little lines there, but I'm going to change out this fan motor here. And then I'm going to turn this unit back on. We're going to be in good shape. Also, during the heating side of things, this right here is the flue, and that comes from the inducer assembly housing. And this right here, dirt daubers can be in here. I've had wasp nests in there, bird's nest, and that right there can keep the unit from running. We're going to look at the heating section now, talk about more common problems there. You need to make sure you know how to check gas pressure. If you don't, check out my playlist, HVAC Tips for Technicians. You've got your ignition control board, you got your spark igniter, you've got your rollout switch in case you've got soot buildup in the heat exchanger, you got a busted heat exchanger, you got improper gas pressure. This right here is your pressure switch. Need to make sure that's closing when your heat cycle has started. Your inducer motor starts, it's gonna pull a pressure, and it's going to be a negative pressure, and that pressure is going to be 0.33 or greater, and that's going to close that pressure switch. And then your cycle is going to keep on moving through your safeties, and then the ignition. This right here is your spark igniter, and you should hear it spark, and that's your flame sensor. Flame sensor could be dirty. That's a very common problem. All you got to do is take it out, get some sandpaper, clean it off, you're good to go. So this right here is your burners, and your burners need to be maintenance. You need to have some type of cleaning process, whether it's a steel brush, whether it's sandpaper, so that you can clean those burners and make sure that track is clean, because that's the flame carryover track. If you don't have clean burners and they're rusty, then they won't carry the flame over. So that's something that can happen. But you've got this right here. Look at this. Fault condition. Check these. So number 2, if you have a steady heartbeat of 2 flashes, pressure switch stuck closed, check the pressure switch. And it's all 24 volts. So you got 24 volts controls. When you get into commercial units that are 460 and higher than that, then you've got maybe 120 volt controls, but these are 24 volt controls. So very, very simple. This is your gas heat section. And then you've got your separate sections for everything. Little bitty bonus for you. You want to be able to adjust the fan belt tension. You want to be able to work on the motor, make it a little bit easier on yourself. Loosen this screw, these 2 screws that hold this little bracket here, and then loosen these 2 screws. Once you do that, take your hand, pull this out. It's easier to work on that way. You might have to snip this wire tie and this one for the wires on the motor, but this will actually, you'll be able to pull the housing out. So for those of you that didn't know, this is Tad reminding you of easier ways to do your job. Yes! Couple more tips. Once you get these 2 screws on the side loose with your 9/16, because it's a 9/16 socket, then I use my drill here. I loosen that right there, that nut, and then I can just take my drill here. Look at that. Oh man, that's awesome. That is awesome. And then I can take and just run that in, and it pulls that bracket out, and my fan belt should already be tighter. Look at that. That was easy, super easy. I'm using a 19 on that socket size, and then using a 9/16 for the sides. Once I adjust it, then tighten my screws back up, slide it back in, and I'm good to go. If you're new starting out your career, I want you to know that it's okay to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. The best technicians in the field in this industry are the ones who have made all the mistakes. Now, there's some things you can't avoid by being very careful. So I want you to be careful, but I want you to know it's okay if you don't know it all and you just started out. You got to learn. That's why you got to have good leadership. You got to surround yourself with people who want you to grow and want to encourage you to learn. So good luck. I hope this video helps you. And if you need more information, drop those questions in the comment section. I am here to help you. Definitely don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that bell. That way you know what I'm doing. I do different types of content. I have other things going on like aquaponics, growing vegetables. I believe that we should all be sustainable and prepared. We should be able to have our own food at our locations whenever we need it, because we need food. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching so much. You're awesome. To all my members, you make it possible for me to grow. If you want guides like airflow and duct design or geothermal, then definitely join my channel and I'll send you information that can help you out in the field. I'm going to go ahead and get started with changing this motor. I've already cleaned the coil. I'm going to go ahead and tighten the belt, and then I'm going to start this thing back up and we'll be good to go. This is Tad reminding you, I'll keep you cool if you let me.